All right, so we are back with Brian on Motivational Mondays. How you doing, Brian? Good afternoon.
What's up, bro?
Good. We got some questions today, some new Monday warm-up questions for you.
I love it. Let's do it.
Okay, so first question is, what's something a client once told you that completely shifted how you coach today?
What's something that a client once told me that completely shifted how I train today?
Yes.
That's a good question. I had one client tell me she didn't want to continue living anymore for personal reasons, and during this time, it was early in my career, I didn't want to pass that line of being out of my scope of practice. And by stepping out of my scope of practice, I mean not being that accessible to speak to me throughout the week. Because typically, as a personal trainer, as an in-person personal trainer, you only want to be accessible for a very short period of time, for a limited period of time in between training sessions, at least in my part and how I train other personal trainers as mentorees. However, the only bad thing about that is that it gives them like a little bit of a tease that they are available to reach out to you when you're not training them at any given moment of time, even if you're very clear about it. So like in emergencies, they'll be willing to reach out. Now, that could be a good thing and a bad thing. I'm looking at the bad thing. The bad thing is that you're never going to have a day off. You're always going to be speaking to your clients 24/7 when typically you're not technically supposed to be. You're not going to be the support system 24/7. Not even therapists are there 24/7 unless they're like VIP clients or VIP patients, etc. So at that time, I was specifically very clear that I'm only available at X amount of time for reach outs. And she reached out during my window. And obviously I didn't want to, I love her to death. All my clients are like family to me now, and especially back then. However, I didn't want to cross that personal line. But she was that one person that I didn't want to have blood in my hands, and I gave her that additional support throughout the week, and thankfully, obviously, it didn't happen. But I realized that my clients are human beings, and they hired me because they felt comfortable with me, and I'm easy to talk to, and they feel like they can tell me anything at any given time, especially during our training sessions. And I was in a crossroads whether I had to literally change my way of training them during the in-person sessions, or stick to how it is. And I stuck to how it is, and I made my clients more accessible to me during that period of time, because I realized that they're human beings and they need that extra support system. So, yeah, that's my answer.
Got it. Okay. Thank you for sharing that personal story with us. Thank you.
Yeah. Will he change? Put the mic facing towards you. Yeah, there you go.
Thank you. All right, number 2. If your future daughter asks you why you train women instead of men, what would you tell her?
If my future daughter asks me why I train women instead of men, what would I tell her? That was a good question. So I do have a daughter on the way, and I would be honest with her. I would tell her that I was raised by all women. I never met my father. And I look at that as a strength, not a weakness. Because I'm realized very young that I'm a unique man who can understand women, can communicate with women in a masculine way, yet extremely empathetic, extremely emotional, and I've been told for the past 13 years that I have this aura about me where women feel comfortable with me when they have when they communicate with me or they have a conversation with me, even if they never met me. So I use my upbringings as part of my career now because it's a soft spot for me. Like, I was raised by a single mom. I was raised by single women, and I see a lot of my family members inside my clients themselves, and I've witnessed the struggles that my family members have gone through. So that being said, I use that as a benefit, that whenever I support my clients, whenever I do sale calls, I can understand them, and I empathize with them, and I can relate to them, not because I'm a woman, but because I was raised by a woman. So I would completely be straightforward with my daughter, definitely.